Hey guys, how's it going? OPB here, coming at you with a quick video. Sorry about the cutoff in the last video, guys. Got a phone call, had to answer the boss man. As I was saying, this is going to be part 2 of the last video. I left off talking about fishing kits. I'm not sure if I got that in the last video, but 17th century Highlander and that time frame of fishing kits. Now, yes, I have experimented with fishing kits of that nature. Do I recommend them against a modern fishing kit? No, not at all. Where I live, I can pretty much go into any pond and catch a fish. I can go into any stream in the springtime and catch a brookie, brook trout. Not a problem. Crayfish are all over the place. Finding water-sourced foods is no problem. If you eat crayfish, I personally don't. Some of you on the channel know why, and if you do, you do. If you don't, you should. But I do go out with people who eat crayfish, and they eat them all the time. They are everywhere. You turn over a couple of logs, and they're just like scatter out. But yeah, so what it generally looks like while I'm going out is I have my brown bass, I have my powder horn, I have all the accoutrement, I can't speak today. All the stuff to shoot my brown bass. Anyways, a little bit tongue-tied today. I got that. I got my shooting bag, which has all my patching, my round balls, pre-made cartridges, stuff to make more cartridges, all that stuff, right? Even if I don't want to shoot cartridge and I just want to shoot ball and patch, which is more like a civilian way of loading the flintlock. That's what I'll carry. I also have my can't remember what it's called. Baldric, which is basically like a sling that goes over your shoulder and your sword goes in it. I have my dirk, my ski necklace, my ski and dew, my belt kit, which has on it my sporran, which goes right in the front. Now I kind of sort of modernized the Highlander kit a little bit. I have a couple other bags that hang off my belt kit on the back side of it. I have first aid kit and all that stuff. Never go in the bush without it. I have a small belt dangler for an axe, a belt dangler for a saw. What else do I have? I have a drawstring leather bag. I have a couple of leather pouches, stuff like that, right? Now, I was also playing around with the idea of a traveling Highland mercenary. I don't know about historical relevance, more so personal curiosity, taking equipment from that era, creating a persona of a traveling Highlander mercenary, because that was a thing. So you would have to probably carry on your back or on your person, because they used backpacks, but not in the sense that we would know. It was mostly woven willow packs or bog tanned leather backpacks. Were not very big, so keep that in mind when you're packing your I'm never coming home bag or your bug out bag. You got a lot of stuff in there you don't need. Skills are by far gonna outweigh that. Now, I'm not saying you should be bushcrafting everything, but having the knowledge on, okay, I don't really need this, it's gonna make my life a little bit easier, but is it really gonna make my life easier from carrying the weight, right? You gotta think about that kind of stuff. Anyways, as a traveling Highlander mercenary, I was kind of gonna play around with that a little bit. Now, as a traveling Highlander mercenary, you'd have most of your personal items on you, which means you wouldn't have much. You might have a coin pouch full of silver coins, and maybe, and that you'd want to keep on you, right? So no one would steal anything from you. Although not many people would steal something from a Highlander. At least not many with a brain. Because if they got caught, that was it. You're done for. Dueling culture in the Highlands was huge. Another thing too, that was, I would suspect that a Highlander, a traveling Highland mercenary would have, if he didn't have a brown vest. Maybe we're going a little bit before that era. Now, there was 17th century doglock, matchlock, flintlock trade rifles. Those were common in the Highlands. They were very heavy, much heavier than the brown vests. Would they have carried them? Probably. The brown vest was pretty much the right arm of the free world, so to speak, as the U.S. Army's favorite little toy is. I can't really say that word here on YouTube because it gets demonetized because it's full of Karens. But it was decent. It still is a decent firearm if you get a quality made one. I've had a couple of the India made ones where you got to drill your own touch hole and all that. Pretty scary. Some of them are made good, some of them aren't. Some of them will blow up in your face, put it this way, I don't want to be the first guy to shoot it. But, again, sidetracked. The one thing that I would recommend is if you're trying to build a 17th century kit, is do your history. A lot of things you'd be like, oh, this is kind of old school technology, but it's really not. A lot of the stuff that people think 17th century, even 16th century people think it is, it's really like 1800s, 1900s. It's not that old. Like candle lanterns, really not that old. Right? So yeah, they had them back then, but they weren't light enough to carry. Another thing to think of another thing I thought of while I was putting together my 17th century Highlander kit, keeping along the same thought process as a mercenary, was the effects of home kit. So like now you would have had, or for example now you would have had pictures or you have pictures and stuff like that of your family, your kids, whatever. Maybe you had a couple of handwritten notes back then that you could read, because obviously photography wasn't a thing. Maybe you had a lock of hair from somebody, that kind of thing, just kind of things to remind you of home. That's all kind of stuff. And obviously they were very superstitious as well back then. So things like a hag stone or a saint stone, maybe, things like that. That stuff they would have, I would assume, anyways. Probably, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But another thing that I put into my kit, it's kind of a work in progress. It's not 100% set in stone yet, but I'm kind of working towards that goal. And once it's all put together, I'm going to do a video on that. Now, granted, keep in mind, some of the equipment I'm going to be using is not period correct. For example, I don't have a longbow. I have a modern. Well, I have a longbow, but I just don't use it for that. It's kind of like a training bow. I have a PSE Mustang recurve that I'll be using for that kit. It's basically the same thing. In the Highlands, they would use shorter bows, right? Because trying to maneuver a longbow, if you've ever done it in thick brush, it's not happening, right? Now, I'm sure as a mercenary, had you come across a Frenchman and he killed them and he took the crossbow, I'm sure you probably would have figured out a way to use that thing. Again, I haven't really been able to find any historical evidence of that, but I'm sure it happened at some point in time, right? So that's kind of where the our mercenary idea kind of came from. Highland mercenaries are very, very common in Europe. They were noted for having extreme durability in colder environments simply because of wearing the great kilt. It's very heavily, very fine woven wool, and it still had a lot of those natural oils in it from the sheep and all that, so it was inherently slightly water resistant. Not waterproof, obviously, but water resistant. So it would have shielded them from the wind, the rain, the wet, the snow, all that kind of stuff. And I've worn a great kilt before. It is extremely warm. Very, very, very warm. They typically would have been worn with a tweed jacket in the 17th century. While not fully, pretty close, but while not fully historically accurate. Again, if you like watching TV and you have time to go on Netflix, it's kind of a series I was brought on by my dad last night, called Highlander. It's on Netflix. It's really good. I watched a couple episodes last night while I was kind of winding down for the night. Just checked it out, see if it was any good. My dad normally recommends a good TV series, so I took a watch when I had about an hour before bed. I wanted to wind to watch a little bit of TV. Watch a couple episodes, really good. I'll probably be doing that again tonight. I don't normally watch a lot of TV, but with how much I've been working lately, I find that it's helping de-stress, right? Kind of takes your mind off things for a little bit, even if it's only half an hour or whatever. Okay, so going back to the Highlander series, I'm going to be doing a couple of these. Probably create its own playlist once I start getting things more involved in it. This is part 2. There will be a part 3 coming up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the comment section down below, there's a link to my it's a GoFundMe. I just find it's easier, so you guys don't have to go to 6 different places. Well, you can. I would prefer it if you did. But obviously, if you don't have time, I get time's not on everyone's side. The link down below will be the GoFundMe to help grow the channel, give me some more time to kind of do more bushcrafty things this summer. If you leave a donation, I will mention you, give you a shout out if you've got a YouTube channel that you want to grow. Granted, I don't have that many subscribers yet. I would love to work forwards into getting that. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. I took a look yesterday, and I was at 115 subscribers. So thank you to everybody who subscribed so far, and thank you to all my future subscribers when you watch this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. OPP out.